what's up out there, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, from the last video that I did, we're picking up where we left off from. I had put the auxiliary lights, on the F150, on the bumper, on the new bumper. And I told you guys the problem, what I was having with my lights. You got two lights right here. You got three lights, actually. The middle lights, the ones in the middle, this one right here, and this one right here on this side, both of them, they come on, but they're not flashing in sync. They're not coming on the same colors in sync. I'm gonna show you what it is I'm talking about. Now, if you notice, the driver's side is saying orange, the other one side is, the right side is saying white. Now, when I click because these lights change, they're four-way lights. Now, the other side changes orange and the other side turns white, the right side. Now, the left side is flashing white and the passenger side is flashing orange, I believe. No, now it's flashing. Now both, you see what I mean? They're both mixed up. They're not in sync the way that they were. Okay. So here, I'm gonna let that flash for just a moment and show you. Somebody said to me that in looking at it, that they think I got some wires crossed. But no, there are no wires crossed. And the reason why there are no wires crossed, there's only three wires to those. The three wires are black, red, and yellow. And the yellow one is the one that cuts off each one that gives you the, the difference in the flash. But I'm going to figure out today exactly, or I'm going to try to figure out why is it doing it. Because if the wires were crossed, they would not even come on. Okay? Does that make any sense? So, when you have a problem with your Fire Stick or something like that at home, the first thing you do is you shut off the system, or you don't just shut it off, but you unplug it to try to reset it. So I'm going to unplug these. I'm going to unplug the hookups to them. These are the wire hookups, which are right here on this end. This is the positive side. I'm going to disconnect both of them. And I'm going to leave them off for a couple of minutes just to see if I can get these things to reset. And that, to be honest with you, that may be my problem. So when I originally hooked these lights on, because I had to take the bumper off, and when I hooked them up, one at a time. I plugged one in and I turned it on to see if it was working. And then I plugged the other one. I knew that one was working. So when I plugged the other one in, I didn't take a look at the other one. All I saw was that the light came on. So I'm thinking that this may be my problem, that they basically just need to be reset. So I'm going to take that one off, and I'm also going to take off the negative side as well. Okay. Okay, so I got to disconnect it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for like about 5 minutes. It's 9:15 right now. I'm going to wait to 5:20 and I'm going to hook them back up and see if they reset or not. So 5 minutes have passed. It is now 9:20. Now, let's go with the negative side first. All right, so we got it hooked back up, and guys, like they say, keep your fingers crossed, or wish me luck, and we'll see what happens when I turn the lights back on, and we'll see what we get. Still doing the same thing. Okay? Still doing the exact same thing. So that tells me it's not the wiring. It's got to be in the switch down here. The switch is malfunctioning, I do believe. Yep, I do believe that the switch down here is malfunctioning. It's working, but they're not coming out sync like they're supposed to. As you can see, you got one side flashing white. The other side is now flashing white. That's that. Let me try to do something here. Let's dive deeper, a little bit deeper into this and see what happens. Okay. So as you see, Houston, we got a problem still going on. It's not in the wiring, because when I hook the wiring back up, the wiring up on the bottom, you have the black, red, and yellow wiring. They're all connected. It's 3 color wiring down there. That's it. Each one is connected to the same one. So that tells me that there is a problem in that switch. So I'm going to take that switch out, mess around with it, and see what I can come up with. All right, so y'all can see this is the next day, because I got different clothes on. And I'm still at it on trying to figure out what's going on with these 2 lights. What we have here is a failure between the 2 lights. We have a failure to communicate with them. That's what we have here. So I'm going to figure this thing out. And I'm going to figure it out because that's what I do. I figure stuff out. I do. I mean, I've been sitting up all night trying to figure this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect these lights from down here. And I'm going to go through the entire wiring of it. And I'm going to find out why they're not in sync with each other. That's what it is. They're not in sync with each other. So as I said to you, I would figure this out. And I did. I got it figured out. Now let's try to change them up. Both of them are amber. Let's change the colors. Both of them are white. Let's see. Give me 1 second. All right, let's see if we can change this up. I can see them from right here. Both lights are flashing the same color. Both lights are flashing amber. Now they're both flashing amber and white. Now they're flashing straight white. Now they both flashing orange. Okay, well, you know, amber. Let's shut them off. Okay, let's turn them back on. Make sure we're still in sync. Okay, so we got it, guys. Got it. All right, so I told y'all that I would figure this out, because this is what I do. I'll figure something out. You know, when something's not going right, you know, I'll go to the source of it. I'm not an expert, okay, by any means. But what I do is I go to a starting point, and I traced all my wires down from the starting point. I knew there was something that wasn't crossed. But I'm going to tell you how this thing works. Now, when you hook these type of lights up and you get power to them, you got to have them both on at the same time when you get power to them. And the reason why is because if you click them and they're both on, if one's on and you'll click, and when they first come on, they come on amber, okay? And then you change from amber to white, and then, you know, the white to flashing, you know, back and forth. So if you got one of them on amber when you first turn it on, and then you shut the other, and then you go to hook the other one up, and you hook that one on after flashing through it, if you're not back on amber at the starting point, it's going to come on to another color. That's the way I see it working. So what I did was I disconnected, and I'll show you. I left the driver's side on amber, and then I went over to the passenger side and I disconnected that one, okay? And when I clicked back on it, it was just flashing, but the other one was still on amber. So I disconnected again, put the wires back together until it got to orange to amber. When it got to orange, I stopped it right there. I left them, connected them on orange, and therefore the lights both were in sync. So that's what the problem was. The problems were, because I remember the day that I first hooked these lights up, that I tested the one on the passenger side first, and that one was on amber, and it was just right there. So, but I didn't hook the other one up at the same time. I hooked the other one up later after I had went through the sequence on the one on this side. I went through the sequence, but I didn't stop back on amber at the starting point. I hope that's understandable, but I'm telling you guys, that's how it works. That's how I see it working. That's the way it worked for me. So now they're back in sync like they're supposed to. Because somebody left me a message saying that my wires were crossed, but no, if my wires were crossed, they would not be able to come on. Neither one will come on if the wires were crossed. So, you know, we got those together. So now with the other two auxiliary lights that are hooked up to the original fog lights on, now we'll go and we'll turn on those orange auxiliary lights, and there you got them. Okay, and if I want to switch to a different sequence up, now they're all white. Now they're flashing. Now they're flashing, I believe, white and orange. Now they're flashing white and orange. Now they're back to, let's see, I want to get them back to amber. There we go. We're back to amber. Because that's the color that I want these lights to be at. I want them to be at amber and amber color because I got enough white lights with these down here, plus with the daytime running lights that come on. I wanted to add a little something to it. I think that is really cool looking. I love it. I like the way that that's set up. All right, everybody. So I got the lights figured out back here on the F150. Everything's working fine. And, like I said, I knew I would get it figured out. Now, how did I know I would get it figured out? Because I had this thing planted in me. Okay. And I'm going to tell you where this thing came from. And it's been planted in me all of my life. And it was planted in me by my father. My father's name was James Bills. And my mother told me, and I remember this as a kid, that she used to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and go to the bathroom with kids. And my father would be sitting at the kitchen table writing stuff out and trying to figure out, stuff that he was working on in the car. Something, and he would pop up back in the room and say, I got it. I figured it out. And he'd write down what he, because he just couldn't sleep. Well, I got that same thing about me, that when I got a problem or something, I'm usually up at night. I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm trying to figure this thing out. And I'm like, now what could this be? And then it would come to me. So I owe that to him. His name was James Bills. And you see this hat right here? This was my daddy's, one of his favorite hats. My daddy died back in 2007. Yeah, he died in May of 2007. So, we're getting ready to come up on another year anniversary since he's been gone. Let's see, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. He'd been gone, 17 years, something like that. But, and I miss him. I haven't been in this house for 17 years. I've only been in this house since 2014. With, I got all the shopping in the area and everything. And if my dad was still alive right now today, this is where he spent most of his time, is out here with me working on cars, because this is what he loved to do. And this is what he put in me. He used to make me, as a kid, come out there every Sunday morning and work on the car. And I used to want to lay up in bed and watch cartoons and stuff like that. Wasn't a whole lot of cartoons on Sunday, but I still didn't want to. But he made me do it. But I didn't realize then he was grooming me for life, grooming me to get me ready. So now the thing about it is that if I need brakes changed on my car, if I need oils changed, if I need to put transmission fluid, if I need to do basic maintenance on a vehicle and a lot of heavy stuff, I know how to do it. Shocks, struts, control arms, stuff like that, ball joints, tie rod ends. I know how to do all that stuff because I learned it from watching my father, and my father taught me how to do this stuff. So, and that's one of the reasons why, guys, I do this channel, is my niche is, and thank you, Eddie from EC. My niche is that I want to show somebody else that you don't have to spend a lot of money, to get things done to your vehicle. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money. You don't have to spend a ton. Now, there are sometimes, things pop up. Say, for instance, my transmission goes out on this. I'm not getting ready to mess with that. No, because I'm past that now, like in my age. And that's that's too much heavy lifting to do that, and I'd be even wondering if I want to put that kind of money into it. But, thank God everything is still working fine with it. But that's because of maintenance. Everything's going to go out. But if you maintenance your stuff, if you maintenance your vehicle, you keep your oil fresh, you keep your spark plugs in there, you keep your transmission fluid changed, you can make it last longer. Anything that you maintain, that's just like your body. If you constantly abuse your body, don't expect it to last too long before it conks out, and that's your health. So you got to take care of yourself, you got to take care of yourself. So with all that being said, got that done. I'm so happy. I'm done with that. Now I got the lights and everything, the bumper and everything's done. So, now it's time to move on to the next thing. I want to thank y'all for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate it. Those of you who have been hitting those likes and those subscribe buttons. To my friend Edwin, I haven't forgotten about you. The lights are done. I got them done in sequence, okay? Because I like I said, if we take the time to figure things out, we can figure things out. Peace, and I'll see y'all next time on the channel.